Hi, I'm Harris Dvores, and today I'm going to teach you how to play space chess. There are 3 videos in this series. In this first one, I'm going to tell you what the major differences are between space chess and the classic board game chess. Chess is based on ancient medieval warfare. Space chess is set 1,000 years in the future, where you are cast in the role of an admiral, giving orders to an entire fleet of starships. There are many major differences between chess and space chess. The first one is that space is vast. And to create this feeling of additional space, I've increased by a factor of 9 the number of squares on the board. So each of the 64 squares in space chess, which are known as quadrants, are subdivided into 9 smaller squares called sectors, resulting in a total of 576 squares in the game. Now, another element that will contribute to this feeling of additional room is that there are only a small number of pieces or ships that you're going to command in space chess. Each side has 6 ships, one for each of the major types of pieces in chess, but only 5 are visible at the start of the game. Only about 2% of the squares being used versus 50% if you do the math with regard to a traditional chess setup. Now, another major difference between space chess and chess is that there are different types of quadrants. You've got light-colored squares and dark-colored squares in chess, but there really is no difference in terms of their capability. In space chess, it's very different. There are 3 different types of quadrants, 1, 2, and 3. And the type of quadrant that a piece is in will affect both its movement ability and its combat capability. So when you are jockeying for position in a battle with another starship, it's going to make a big difference what type of quadrant that you're in. Another big combat difference that I think really brings the feeling of space battles that you may have seen in sci-fi to this game is in chess, a piece is either on the board or it's off the board. That's not the way it is in space chess. The beginning of the game, each player's fleet is started with a certain number of units of strength of energy per ship. And over the course of the game, that's going to fluctuate. So a rook that has a strength of 2 is very different than a rook that has a strength of 12. So even though you might see those pieces on the board, you can't take for granted, oh, that's their capability. You have to look at where they are and how many units of energy they have at that moment in time. That leads me to probably the biggest change between chess and space chess. In chess, you have a very stunted mechanic. You move one piece, I move a piece. You move a piece, I move a piece. And we've done that so many times it seems natural, but really there's nothing natural about it. If you consider the great sci-fi battle scenes in any of the different movies or book series that you may have encountered, they all describe these very dramatic action-packed scenes where they're jockeying for position, they're trying to get the drop on the other ships, and there's a great deal of firing and defending, and it's action-filled. Well, you can't have that when a piece is just on the board or off the board, and you can't have it if I move a piece and then I sit back and I wait for you to move a piece. In space chess, incredibly, every ship on the board moves simultaneously, both sides. Now, at first, that may seem to be impossible, but let me assure you that it's very doable. You're just not used to it. But in space chess, there's a way of giving all of the ships in your fleet orders. And you provide orders to your fleet, your opponent does the same, and then you reveal, and the ships all move simultaneously. A completely different feel to what you're used to if you play the game of chess. Now, one of the things that I really like about space chess compared to the traditional game of chess is that this feature of every piece moving simultaneously completely does away with the need to memorize openings. Because within 1 or 2 moves, you're going to be in a position that you've never seen before. Now, this is further highlighted by the fact that in chess, you have standard opening positions, and no matter how many games of chess you've played, everyone starts the exact same way, with those 32 pieces locked in to those positions. In space chess, every game of space chess starts with a different configuration. Each player gets to secretly decide where their ships start. And so you might start the game in a position you have never seen before. And then, of course, every turn, every piece on the board is going to move. And so it's very quickly going to lead to a scenario where you say, I don't know how to do this. I've got to figure it out. Now, there's one other element of mystery in the game, and that is of the 6 pieces that are in your fleet, the 6 ships, the king, the queen, the bishop, the rook, the knight, and the pawn, all of them are present at the start of the game, but one of them is hidden. Its location has been set on your fleet orders pad, but your opponent can't see the ship. What this means is that to win in space chess, you have to discover your opponent's kingship. And this leads to a lot of additional drama because you could be losing in a game, but if you're able to uncover the location of your opponent's king, you might actually be quite far behind and still be able to pull out a win. So those are 6 of the differences between chess and space chess. In the next video, I'm going to teach you the actual rules to space chess. And then finally, the third video in this series is going to show you how to play a game of space chess.